what's going on in the US, because I see racism as actually really directly related to a lot of this dominance, partnership. How do we relate to each other? And in the US, it's our original sin as an organization, but because we also drove the capitalist system and the way we organize to produce things, it's also embedded in a lot of the structures. And I'm an analyst by trade, and my background is operations, and I really think structure drives behavior, meaning we drive on paved roads when we have the option. We don't drive the straightest course, right? So there's ways you can orchestrate certain kinds of behaviors based on structures. And what is limiting us right now is accounting and legal structures that have reinforced this dominant hierarchical model. And I remember a few years ago, I was talking to an accounting friend of mine, and I don't know what I was doing. I was looking at balance sheets, which is not usually what I do, but I was looking at balance sheets again. And I was like, where are the people on the asset side? And he was like, oh, they're not there. And I was like, what do you mean they're not there? They're just liabilities? No wonder they get laid off in the US in droves, because you can't see their value. And even if you kind of mentally are like, oh yeah, they're our most important resource, if they're not in black and white in that accounting is how we account for our values, right? And we use money or financial mechanisms to communicate that. And so I sat with that for years, and I was like, I just don't understand how that happened. And then I was digging into the 1619 Project, which is a huge project by the New York Times to explore racism in America and all the different pieces of that. And one of the articles was about how brutal capitalism is because of the racism. And it pointed out that amortization was an innovation in accounting to account for enslaved people's aging and lack of production capability, right? And you sit with that for a while and you're like, that is brutal. That's brutal, wow, right? And so what that said to me is, oh, people used to be on the asset side of the balance sheet. And at some point they got removed because we don't own them anymore, which is a good thing. They are not considered property anymore, at least explicitly considered property anymore, but it never got replaced. And so you have that going on. And then you have the secondary thing going on, which is we're moving from a production economy to a knowledge economy, right? Everything that is standardized is going to be done by machines or algorithms or AI or something. And so what are humans left to do? We're left to do the creative things. And we're sitting in organizations where diversity is a bug, not a feature. We're trying to put everybody in a box rather than, and so diversity or differences are always an exception to be managed rather than something to be optimized. And so my view is until we fix that financial accounting system, how we view that, we will struggle with this divisive relational model. And so it really drives our culture. So I'll end there.
Fascinating.